scene from Lauren Montes' new play, Talk Show.
All right, y'all ready? Okay. A primetime late night talk show. America's favorite, maybe even. Something with an old SNL cast member as the host. If this were a real play or movie, it could be played by an actual one, like Trevor Noah or Seth Meyers or someone similar. They sit behind their desk. Also, this is entirely in young Haley's mind, FYI.
And we are back. Good evening, everyone. Guys, my first guest needs no introduction. She is the star of her original retelling of The Nativity, now showing on Step in Front of the Fireplace. She is also going to be appearing in an original web series, Princess Magic and Her Servant Fart Frog, available on iMovie on the computer in Mom's office. Give it up for Haley Harris.
An 8-year-old child walks out on stage beaming, dressed either immaculately or in PJs. I'm not sure yet which. Everyone is ecstatic to see her.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming. I know it's a bit late for you.
Oh, Seth, Jimmy, James, Conan, I make my own bedtime.
Wow, what a mature, strong young woman.
I mean, I think that's easy to see me and think, she's just a kid. She doesn't know how to do grown-up things, but kids can do all the same things. They are just smaller.
Audience claps at these profound words.
Speaking of doing so many things, you have been quite the busy bee.
I sure have.
With the original play and web series that you created and starred in.
And edited and made commercials for.
And I mean, that's insane.
And I also just started playing goalie for the first time.
How do you find the time to do it all?
My mom drives me to school and soccer and stuff. And then at home, when mom and dad are working or talking or at recess, I just come up with all the ideas in my head and then I just make them.
You work very hard then. Don't you ever get lonely?
Sometimes. I used to want a little brother or sister.
Gosh, how could they ever compete with you? But at recess, when all the other kids are playing, don't you want to play with them instead of just think of stories?
I don't like that question.
Why do you like making shows and playing pretend so much?
I think you mean acting. I don't play pretend anymore. I'm not a baby.
Audience laughs at incredulity at this hilarious joke.
But I like it so much because it's really fun and I like watching TV and movies, so it's fun to make my own.
Do your mom and dad like it? Because as a father, myself, I love the things you make, and if I was your dad, I would be so happy.
Yeah, they always like the things I make for them. Sometimes they even record it and send it to grandma and grandpa.
That must make you happy.
Yeah, it does. I like when people like me.
Do people ever not?
I don't know. Maybe.
Why don't they like you?
I don't know.
We will be right back with the lovely Haley. Stay tuned.
Commercial break / the end for now.
Thank you, Lauren and cast. Up next is our first film of the afternoon, Deniz's short film, Awake.
Rock-a-bye, baby, on the treetop. When the wind blows the
Stop singing. I don't like it when you sing.
When the bell
She won't stop
breaks,
singing.
the
She won't stop.
cradle will fall.
Stop it,
and
June.
down will
Stop singing. I don't like it when you sing.
Cradle and all. When the bell
Mommy!
breaks, the
June won't stop
cradle
singing.
will fall,
Tell her to stop it.
and down will come
Please, Mommy, make her
baby,
stop.
Cradle and all.
Welcome back, June. June? Is that you? Why don't you talk to me, June? Hi, June. Are you here to play? Are you here to read with me? Are you here to tell me stories? Look at my toy. Do you want to play, or you can read for me? We can read The Giving Tree. Is it nap time? I don't like nap time. Nap time makes me feel like I won't be able to wake back up. Like it feels like I won't get to run around again, or that I won't be able to read or draw or play again. I don't want to nap because I don't know where I go in my sleep. I don't want to go, and when I accidentally fall asleep and then wake up, I always end up right where you left me. But I don't know what happens when I'm asleep, so I don't want to do it anymore. Where do we go in our sleep, June? I never know, and I don't like it. I get cold in my sleep, and I see darkness, and sometimes I see people that I know. I think sometimes I see myself. Mom tells me it's just a dream, but I don't like seeing myself. Well, dreams are supposed to be lovely and beautiful, but mine are never ending, so I won't sleep. And when you sing, I don't like it. I'm afraid it'll put me asleep, and I don't want to go there. I don't know what happens to my body when I'm away at a dream. And I can't choose who to see, and it all goes wrong. And I'm scared I won't wake up again. So now they sleep. I'll just wait. Nap time is over, June.
It still scares me, which I think is a good sign. Thank you, Deniz. Up next, we'll be returning to live theater with a reading of Claire's monologue, First Day.
Oh, hold on 1 second. My computer just froze. Okay, great. The first time I ever had sex with a penis was in the back of a Subaru. I was 17, as was the penis. We had just performed in our high school's annual winter concert, me in choir and my partner, a violist, the most elusive of the stringed instruments. I would come to find the individual's penchant for mystery was not an altogether endearing trait, but a pattern of desperation to be seen as unique. He was the sort of dude who made a point of wearing mismatched socks and talking about it. I think we both secretly knew we would be each other's first bang. I complimented his headphones once, and we struck up a sexually tense friendship over the course of the fall. After some acknowledging head tilts in the halls, a date, and a sprinkling of makeouts, I told myself he was it. I made the mistake of disclosing my interest to make it official before asking him how he felt about me. He did not want to be tied down. It begged the question, how much ass was he getting? We met up in the hallway after the concert, him in a rented tuxedo and me in a rented black frock which held on to body odor like a small child. This would be the night. We walked to his car, parked in the lot by the school's pool. He was a water polo player. How unique. Rather than get down to brass tacks, we like to play pretend. Like this particular evening when we pretended we were going to drive me home without ever turning the car on. You guys sounded really good, I said. Thanks. I love the harmonies in Jingle Bells. They really shone through. Was my hymen tingling or what? I could hear the rustle of the polyester against the seat and knew without looking that he was reaching for me. And then we kissed. We kept that up over the middle console until we couldn't take it anymore and climbed into the back. At this point, no one had ever seen my naked body except myself and my mother, and even she was cut off by age 12. I did have to show her my vagina when I was 13 because I didn't know how to insert a tampon. She had me use a hand mirror. Have you ever looked at your vagina in the magnified side of a hand mirror? Have you ever had your mother look at your vagina in the magnified side of a hand mirror? I remember when I first put a finger in there. My eyes bugged out like one of those Panic Pete stress toys. So anyway, we're in the back of the Subaru. His starchy cummerbund is coming off. I'm dizzied in the flashes of frock and fabric flying off our bodies until I ground myself in my familiar bra and spandex. For the first time, I could see the outline of his junk. I remember quickly trying to decipher the appeal of having a penis. It's jumbled up all day. It's between your legs all the time. What is the point? Do you want to have sex? He whispered in my ear. What? I asked. He chuckled softly at my virginal surprise, but I just couldn't hear him. Do you want to have sex? He repeated. Oh. No one had ever asked me that before. It always sounded far away, dialogue for the movies, but now it was happening. I was in my own movie about to shag in the back of a Subaru. As someone who'd spent years independently researching what sex is, would be, can be, it was just a matter of time until I found a mate to engage in intercourse with. I mean, I guess, I replied, matching his huskiness. I just feel like, he gasped for air, suppressing his excitement. We both want to lose it before college, right? Yeah. We're comfortable with each other, right? He looked at me, put a piece of hair behind my ear. I think he was flexing his chest. And we're here, so why don't we do it? Looking back, this was a rare moment in my adolescence where I made a decision for myself. Every smart career woman starts somewhere. He lurched for a condom, ripped it open, covered his member. Me? Oh, I was preparing myself for something other than my fingers and a tampon in the eyes of my mother to go into my sweet, tight, virginal vagina. If I ever develop a saggy vagina, shoot me on sight. You know how Lady Bird yells at Timothée Chalamet in the movie, who the fuck is on top their first time? I was on top my first time. We were afforded no other options in that car. He sat back, I mounted, and after a few failed attempts, boy, oh boy, did we find the right hole. I felt a foreign pressure sliding its way up into me and the of my lover. It felt like someone stuck a hose up my birth canal and waited to turn the water on until it was secured all the way up inside, tapping the shoulder of my abdomen. My face showed this. I kept my gaze over his shoulder to the back windshield, holding on to the hope it would start to feel fun. But it didn't really. I was in the back of a Subaru in my school's parking lot with a boy who wasn't going to want to hold my hand after, bobbing up and down, occasionally hitting the ceiling of the car and having to remind him to ease up. Oh, and I was on top my first time. And he came, and I certainly didn't. No one in movies shows you the dismount. There's real art to that as well, I'd come to understand. We sat there for a few beats combined. He held me to him, he was damp, the respite was nice. And then he kind of gently pushed me away and looked at me. His eyes were kind. He looked down at my mouth. Again, my natural instincts were effective, I see. Would you mind? His eyes floated to an empty seat beside him. Oh, right, sorry. As I detached, the strongest queef I've ever made erupted out of me, its presence like a third person in the car. I hovered over his legs. I would have been standing upright had we not been in a car, so my knees were straight but body curved at the top to accommodate the roof. For the entirety of the queef, we held eye contact. Perhaps I was afraid he'd run and tell someone. But no. Complete silence. No speaking, just staying. The great thing about queefs is they're odorless, and in my defense, my sweet, gorgeous, radiant, now slutty little cooch had just been waterboarded by this penis and was gasping for air, the poor thing. I'm wiser now, so I can see that. At that time, I would have been fine if a rabid animal ate my eyes and replaced them with seeds. My bad, was all I could muster. We dressed. He threw the condom out the window. So silly. Would you like a ride home? No, thanks. Really? Really. I walked up the hill of the lot to my car, which would take forever to heat up in the December cold. I got in the front seat, shut and locked the door. I heard him whiz behind me as he rolled out. I sat there until I could no longer see my breath and drove myself home. No radio, no passenger, just me, myself, and I. And that is my fun fact. It's nice to meet everyone. Happy to be here.
That'll get a reaction.
Yeah?
Absolutely. They're gonna love you or loathe you.
As far as ensemble, I can wear my chicken sweater or turtleneck with matching red wine stains where my nipples fall.
I say nipples. It's more consistent with the words.
You're so right.
You ready?
You think?
No. I know you.
You have seen my vagina in a hand mirror.
Knock 'em dead, hun.
Thank you, Claire. Up next, we have a film presentation of Lauren Hardman's poem, The Black Lake.
The time of year when the leaves crunch, under rubber boots that still slip, they're supposed to have tread. A cold in-breath feels like a punch. Exposed nose grows numb at the tip, thoughts of big blankets on a warm bed. Quiet, except for the whistling wind and screaming bench as she sits, looking at the black lake. Eyes hollowed and thinned, now dry from fat tears that quit falling, now just a deep ache. A sacred bond broken at birth, but babies are stupid, too stupid to know what's to come. She's processed, spoken to the appropriate parties, waved at you, frozen fingers and knuckles tightly gloved. She's never thrown a punch, but she'd sure like to. For now she punches the loud air, fighting the wind whipping over the black lake. If a girl screams at a lake and no one is there to hear her, does she make a sound? When she was small, she used to say, "It smells like fall." Now she knows that saccharine smell signals the death of the leaves to come. How morbid to take pleasure in the perfume of their final exit. Pumpkin spice, spooky season, fall y'all. She thinks of basic bitches in Ugg boots dancing on the graves of fallen foliage. It's dark, but the street lamps illuminate the trees still flush with vermilion leaves. She wonders if they're called leaves, because every year they do just that. And the tree, branches outstretched, holds on to them as best she can. But the gust will always blow, and it will always snow, and the leaves will leave again, forever falling into the black lake.
Thank you, Lauren. We're going to keep going with the videos with Amelia's recording of Esme and the Tomcat. It's not my video.
Aren't you just the cutest little kitty? Yes, you are, you little kitty cat. Oh, you want a little kiss kiss? It's been so good having him around. I'd be so sad if I lost him. I would be so heartbroken, and I just hate being heartbroken. He would never break my heart. Oh, this thing. Should I even be wearing it? Yes. Why not? It's from Thomas. Thomas. He proposed to me. Gosh, where was it? Italy? No, it was Ireland. Oh, I don't remember. No. It was Greece. It was Greece. Yes, that's right. Athens, I believe, at the throne of Athena. But I don't really believe in that kind of stuff. Gods and goddesses. We went there for our 3rd anniversary. He popped the question while we were on a boat in the middle of the Mediterranean. The water is crystal clear there. I was so nervous that the diamond would fall into the ocean. I would lose it forever. But thankfully that didn't happen. When he told his parents, they were less than thrilled. Probably having to do with the fact that I didn't want to be a traditional housewife. I wasn't willing to cook or clean or blah blah blah. Nevertheless, our wedding was magnificent flowers and white gowns and huge diamond rings. We had this gorgeous singer that sang that song. Oh, you know the one. We're going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. The first year was good. I cooked and cleaned and blah blah blah. But curiosity killed the cat, and once he started staying late and working and lying about where he was, I just knew. I just knew he was off with some sexy young thing gallivanting the Scottish Highlands. But I told him he couldn't leave so easily. I don't take nicely to my heart being broken.
I sure do not. Oh yes, you little Tommy. You can't run away from me so easily. No more sexy secretaries for you now, Thomas.
One of my favorite plot twists, I think. Up next will be Esther's film monologue titled Spam.
Spam came to Korea on a plane with rifles and grenades. When the United States arrived on the tiny peninsula, the size of New Jersey, they brought goods that couldn't spoil, like powdered milk and chocolate bars. But no real red-blooded American soldier wanted to feast on chunks of the scary pink abysmal meat. Lucky for them, there were plenty of hungry mouths in the newly war-torn country. And these starving folk soon found that they loved having mysterious animal flesh with a side of steaming hot white rice. I only wish they loved me as much as they loved this shitty pink American mug. I wish that the fact that I can't utter words in their tongue, our tongue, was no reason for them to push me to the corner of their plates. I want to be consumed by those who come from my mother's world. I want to be fully consumed to satiate their wise and ancient appetites. I want them to swallow me whole and let me become a part of something bigger, because the people here, in this country I was raised in, they have made it very clear over and over again that I'm still too foreign to be feasted on. That is, unless I come bearing unbelievably hot boy bands and adorable animated schoolgirls.
Thank you very much, Esther. Up next, Miranda will be doing a live performance of her monologue entitled Stars.
I'm looking up at the stars. Well, I'm trying to look at the stars. I'm staring up at the sky, trying very hard to see the stars through the heavily polluted sky, when suddenly my feet start to leave the ground. I'm getting higher and higher and higher, and I don't notice at first until I see a little boy tug at his mother's shirt and point at me in disbelief. A girl drops her ice cream cone and begins to scream. Other people start to notice and gather around me like I'm some street performer, like this is some cool illusion that I managed to pull off. In an effort to get back down, I'm wiggling my body, flapping my arms like I used to when I would try to touch my toe to the bottom of my pool, but to no avail. The growing crowd laughs and claps, but stops when I start screaming for help. Some people jump and try to grab my feet. You need to get a running start, I shout at them. A tall guy who had been playing basketball manages to grab my ankle with his sweaty palm, but he lets go when he starts to rise with me.
One person frantically looks for a ladder, another person's filming the whole ordeal on their iPhone, and I'm looking down at them, hoping that if gravity decides to return, it gently does so. A fire truck finally arrives, and as the firemen load out, I can already tell that it's too late, and their ladder is not going to be able to reach me. A helicopter is called, but it can't get close enough to me without possibly risking severe injury. It's hopeless. I have to surrender to whatever greater gravitational force is pulling me away from Earth. And as I look down at the people looking back up, I notice one person look down and walk away, followed by another person, followed by another person, followed by another person, until all of them are gone, resigned to the fact that I'm not coming back down. No, I belong to the skies now. I would be lying if I didn't say that I'm a little hurt and feel betrayed by their relinquishment of effort. I try to comfort and remind myself, at least they tried. However, I can't help but feel scared, sad, and alone, and I want to cry, but I'm not going to cry. No, I'm not going to cry. I've been looking down for so long, watching as people turn into grains of sand, homes turn into Monopoly pieces, and highways turn into the tracks on my old Christmas train set, that I don't notice the air around me getting colder and thinner. It feels like air itself is flatlining on me. Eventually, all I can see below, around, and above me are white, fluffy beasts. I'm waiting for my lungs to collapse and my organs to fill me by the intensely pressurized air. But I am met with the relief of still being alive and being able to breathe properly. The space around me begins to grow dark as Earth starts to shrink into a tiny sphere far, far away from me. I reach my arm out in a vain attempt to preserve my proximity to the tiny spherical Earth, and I feel so silly doing so. Instead, I decide to wave it goodbye and blow it a kiss. I can finally see the stars.
That was beautifully done. Thank you, Miranda. And somehow we are already at our final presentation of the afternoon evening. Emma will be presenting her new sketch titled Teletubbies Podcast.
Uh-oh, and welcome back to a special edition of Teletubbies the Podcast. I'm your host, the New. On this hit podcast, I share all the secrets about my work as one of the stars of the genre-defining show. And today's episode is extra special because I'm finally getting the Teletubbies themselves on the phone. That's right, today we'll be live streaming on pbskids.org via Zoom call. What a treat for live stream viewers who get to see the humble abode I bought with my Teletubbies money. That's right, I'm out here in LA, but the real live Tubbies will be joining me straight from over the hills and far away. Oh, and also don't forget to support our Patreon, and today's sponsors are Squarespace and Audible. Here she is now, uh-oh, Lala.
Nunu!
I haven't seen your face in years, how have you been?
Naughty Nunu!
Haha, bringing back the old catchphrase. Well, my naughty Nunu days are in the past now. I've retired from being a vacuum. As the fans know, I'm usually reading French novels or smoking a pipe. Tinky Winky, uh-oh.
Oh, Nunu.
Oh man, I miss working with you. Is there anything you'd like to say to the viewers?
Tinky Winky's bag.
Oh my goodness, the artifact itself, it's held up surprisingly well. Do you remember that one day when I kept vacuuming it up? So many bloopers. Yeah, those long days on the set were tough, but we knew the work was what was truly important.
Naughty Nunu.
Oh, Dipsy is on location. Uh-oh, Dipsy.
Uh-oh, Nunu!
What a treat. You're at the historic animal parade. You didn't hear it from me, but those 2 giraffes were an absolute nightmare to work with. So Dipsy, do you miss being on set? How do you respond to the rumors that the show was canceled due to profanity written on the clouds?
Again!
Oh, wow. Controversial take.
Hat!
Okay, stylish. Uh-oh, Poe, thanks for joining us.
Uh-oh, Nunu. It's so great to see you, man. How the hell are ya?
I am doing well. Wow, you've gained quite the vocabulary.
Yeah, dude. I went to college and shit. Even on the show, I spoke Cantonese. Do you not remember that?
Oh, yeah, I guess I do. What are you doing exactly? I can't really see you.
Just taking my sick ride for a spin over the hills.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Hey, everyone.
Uh-oh, Poe.
Oh, Scooter!
Yup, it is indeed my scooter. Good to see you folks. How is La La Land treating you, Nunu? That looks like quite the mansion.
Well, it's...
Lala!
Yes, Lala.
So, Nunu, are you still vacuuming up people's shit all the time? Not gonna lie, that was so annoying.
Actually, no, as I just explained, I've actually retired from being a vacuum.
Yeah, right. I'm sure you still vacuum up tons of tubby toast on the reg. That was like your party trick. But low-key, we hated it so much. Naughty Nunu.
What? I thought you guys were just playing along. I was always super popular on set.
Nah, man. Everyone thought you were a dick. Naughty Nunu was like our code or fuck that guy. Good times.
Okay. You know what, Poe? It's really hard to hear you while you're scootering, so I'm just gonna have to kick you off, but thanks for joining us.
Oh, word. Okay.
Hat!
You know what? Fuck this. For those just tuning in, welcome back to Naughty Nunu Hour, the only show about me and my mansion only. I will now read a selection from a French novel.
That was awesome. And thus concludes the winter session of Invisible Disco Productions Writers Collective. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's been a real pleasure working with all of you these past couple of weeks. Again, this is just a sampling of the many works in progress swirling about the disco floor, as it were. Please feel free to follow us, check out our stuff for the upcoming year. There's short play festivals, full form plays, newsletters, podcasts, something for everybody. Again, you can find us at IDP Presents WBP, that's on Twitter, and Instagram at Invisible Disco Productions, as well as our Facebook and our Patreon. So happy holidays, everyone. Be safe, and thank you so much for coming. I'm going to keep waving until Amelia tells me I'm done. Breathe. Good job, everybody.
Good job, everyone.
That was great, everybody.
Some people left, but that's okay.
I love how Lauren always leaves.